Okay, today we're going to be talking about noiseless pickups that fit into a single coil form factor. So these would be pickups for Strats, Teles, Jaguars, Mustangs, Duosonics, and the like. I'm going to be highlighting my 4 top reasons you might want to consider having a guitar with noiseless pickups. And I'm also going to be demonstrating 2 different sets, the Bill Lawrence 280-290 Stratocaster set and these DiMarzio rails, the Cruiser and the Chopper. So I'll put a note in the video here for any of you that want to just skip ahead to one or both of those demos, and then I'll jump into the reasons why I think these are worth considering and how they compare to traditional single coils. Okay, so I can think of at least 4 reasons why you might want to consider having a guitar with noiseless pickups, whether they're full-size humbuckers or the single coil size noiseless pickups we're talking about today. The first reason would be for recording. I like to record into GarageBand using the iRig interface, and if I play either my Strat or my Tele that have true single coils, there's just too much noise. It renders them basically unusable. Whereas if I recorded with the Lawrences when I had them in here, or these DiMarzios, dead silent. And this isn't just for home recording. I heard a podcast, Greg Cox podcast with Jim Campolongo recently, and Jim was saying how he went to this recording studio in New York City to cut an album, and on that particular day, the 60 cycle hum was so bad that he recorded the whole album in the middle position, which on his Tele is hum canceling, for the whole record. So this isn't just for bedroom players. Second reason would be if you play through an amp modeler or with a lot of effects. These noiseless pickups, the more goop that you layer on top of your tone, whether it's digital modeling, recording software modeling, or frankly just a bunch of analog effects, the less likely you're going to recognize any of the benefits that you would have gotten from having true single coils, right? I mean, true single coils maybe sound 10 to 15% better in terms of the richness of the tone, the clarity, etc., the organic nature people talk about, the airiness, the openness. I agree with all of that. But again, you put a bunch of stuff on top of your tone, you're not going to hear the difference. Certainly not in a live band mix. So why not have a noiseless pickup in that case? So that's the second reason. The third reason is similar to the second one, which is if you play with a lot of distortion, you play with a lot of gain. The more gain you add to your signal, again, the less likely you're going to hear the difference between true single coils and noiseless single coils. Some of these noiseless single coils are in fact going to react better with gain, as humbucking pickups often do. And of course, again, adding gain adds noise, so having a noiseless pickup in a higher gain environment is going to be beneficial. I think an easiest way to remember this is the benefits of true single coils are best recognized played clean. So if you play clean, especially at lower volumes at home, that's when you're going to really want your true single coil. And so the last reason is similar to what we just talked about, is if you're playing live a lot. If you're playing out, gigging a lot, obviously having a quieter guitar is going to be better. If you're in a full rock band, no one's probably going to hear any 60 cycle hum except in between songs. But if you're in a quieter environment, like a jazz duo or something, then yeah, you're going to want a noiseless guitar. Okay, let's talk about the 2 different sets of pickups that we are reviewing today. The first is the Bill Lawrence. And I had those in this guitar first, and so I'm just going to apologize that, you know, this is a $150 guitar. They're awesome modding platforms, as I've talked about in other videos, these Squier Mustangs. But I threw the Bill Lawrences into this basically stock with a factory setup. And so you'll hear when I play the Lawrences, the saddles, I didn't realize how crappy, honestly, those stock saddles were, because when these DiMarzios went in, I did have my tech do a full pro setup and throw in these upgraded saddles, which were like $19. It's not like it was a lot, but it made a big difference. So just bear that in mind with this comparison. What I will say about the Bill Lawrence pickups before we hear them: if you don't know about Bill Lawrence, he's a legend in the world of pickup design. You should Google him. He's no longer with us, but his wife and daughter continue the company. You want to make sure that you look at Wilde, W-I-L-D-E, Bill Lawrence pickups. Call Becky Lawrence on the phone. She'll talk you through all his various designs. You know, ridiculous value, $60 a piece, wound to order. So let's listen to those Bill Lawrences first. Okay, so we're on the neck pickup. And again, these are stacked coils, so the comparison would be to the Duncan stacks or the DiMarzio areas. I did a demo on the DiMarzio Area T for Telly here. I'll link at the end. So that's the neck pickup. Middle position sounds really sweet. Definitely has that stratty in between. Not an out of phase quack, but it does sound more stratty than my Telecaster, for example. So that's the middle. I think it sounds pretty darn sweet. I'm playing through a Traynor DarkHorse 15 tube amplifier with just a touch of delay through two 10-inch cabinets. One has a Fat Jimmy C1025, the other has the lovely Alnico 1028 from Eminence, my favorite speaker of all time. Okay, so we're switching over to the 290. And this is one of my only quibbles with this set. Instead of getting another 280 for the bridge, I got the 290, thinking the name implied that this is going to be stronger. And it's not really stronger than the neck pickup, not noticeably anyway. They do match up perfectly. I don't have any quibbles there. You just heard the middle position sounding very sweet. And I've played the heights everywhere with these pickups. I've tried the bridge pickup closer to the strings, and it's still not. You can hear how bright it is. It's really more like the brightness of a traditional output Strat bridge pickup, I think. Does sound good with overdrive, but not, doesn't have the oomph of the Duncan SSL5 I have in my Strat, for example. The end here. Okay, moving on to the DiMarzios. Again, the guitar has a setup. It's still pretty low action. There is still some fret buzz, but some of that brittleness that I think you would have heard with the Lawrences should be gone due to the saddle upgrade, not because of the pickup change. So these DiMarzios obviously are a side-by-side blade or rail design. This is the Cruiser bridge in the neck. Some people like to put the Cruiser bridge in the neck. It has just like a 2% more output. And then the chopper is a higher output, but I would not consider it a hot pickup. A lot of people love it in a Telecaster, and I did call DiMarzio. They confirmed that this Strat version of the chopper is the exact same pickup as the Tele version. So if you love it in a Tele, you'll probably love it in a Strat as well. So the Cruiser in the neck. I think the Cruiser it's just okay, frankly. It sounds pretty good for leads, but it doesn't have a lot of the liveliness that the chopper has. The chopper is a lot livelier. This is the middle position. Lawrences sounded certainly more Fender-y in the middle position, but this is a really usable tone. And then the chopper is where these shine. It's just great. I think, you can hear it's a little bit louder, and that's partially because I have it set fairly high. That's just where I like it. It's just a great pickup. It's rich, it's powerful without being muddy or overwound sounding. So if I were going to do this again, I would, even though I love the look of the blades, I would probably put like an Area 67 if I wanted to stay noiseless and DiMarzio, I would put an Area 67 in the neck and the chopper in the bridge. So there you have it, 2 sets of noiseless single coil form factor pickups. The jury is a little bit out on them, as I just said. Not totally thrilled with this one. Would the Lawrences have satisfied me if I'd had these upgraded saddles? Possibly, although like I said, I wanted a little bit more beef from the bridge. So again, maybe the best of both worlds would be the chopper in the bridge with something a little bit livelier in the neck, possibly like one of the Area Strat pickups. Hope you enjoyed this today. Hope it was helpful, and thank you as always for joining me. See you next time.